Today's episode of the Just Keep Swimming podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is an online audiobook and podcast service offering over 10,000 books and the ability to listen to your favorite podcasts, including the Just Keep Swimming podcast. I personally use Audible all the time and suggest you take a listen to Intentional Living by John C. Maxwell. In this book, Mr. Maxwell shares his story on how he was able to live a noble and purposeful life and gives you tips and tricks so you can do the same. So please start your 30-day free trial now at www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast, all lowercase. Again, that is www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast. And if you have any more questions or concerns for the Just Keep Swimming podcast, you're always welcome to reach out to us on Facebook or on Instagram at Just Keep Swimming _podcast, or you can email us at jkspodcast702@gmail.com. And with that out the way, let's dive into it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. It's your friend, your boy, your host, Mr. Adrian Jackson, and we back at it again with another great episode for you. And you already know who's with me. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Mr. 1-3, dropping hot beats for the city as always. So make sure you guys keep up with his latest projects. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a quick episode I want to talk to you guys about. Recently, I just went to New Orleans for a work conference. It was a pretty good trip, but some things happened over the trip, which you already know I'm gonna turn into a podcast episode because that's how I work. So today I just want to talk about some things I learned over the trip. And the first thing I want to start with is you can only prepare so much. So, going from Las Vegas to New Orleans, I was terrified of the weather, because I went down south a few times and I know how down south is so humid. And I'm a natural sweater. I sweat real easy. And I knew the humidity was going to tear me up because last year or 2 years ago, I went to Kansas City for a work conference. And out there, in the buildings, I'm fine, but when I'm walking around outside, or they had a lot of restaurants where you eat outside, I just could not stop sweating. I was sweating so hard. It was crazy. I had to keep a towel with me and stuff like that. So, I was naturally afraid of going out there because I'm like, I know I'm gonna go so sweaty. But it's like, the problem was there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do to stop myself from sweating. So what I could do was just prepare to handle the sweating the best I could, handle the humidity, the temperature the best that I could, So one thing that I did was I bought me a little fan. So, as I'm walking around, we can turn on the little power fan and try to get a little breeze going. Definitely if there's any time where, you just felt muggy or humid, which was most of the time. The second thing I did was I took me a lot of extra shirts, so I knew that I was going to sweat out my shirts and I was probably going to need to do like a half a day clothes change. So that's one thing I made sure I do. I took more than enough shirts than I would need, and tell you the truth, I used every single one of my shirts but one shirt pretty much. But every shirt got used because, after waking up, going to the conference, coming back to the hotel, doing a lot of walking around, it was just so humid. I was so sweaty. My shirts would be sticky, and I needed to go back and change clothes like every single day, even at nighttime. Like if we went to the room like toward the end of the night and end up leaving, I still changed my shirt because I was just so sweaty, And then it was just like, there's nothing I can truly do about it because my body's gonna sweat, Like, only thing I could do was make sure I stayed hydrated, took my fan with me, always had a towel, always had water, and I always changed my shirts when I felt like I needed to change shirts. But there was other times where I just had to thug it out, We were walking the middle of Bourbon Street and there's a lot of bodies around, and I'm sure nobody's looking at me. I mean, they probably were looking at me. It's like, damn, that dude's sweating like crazy, But at the end of the day, there was nothing I could do about it. All I could do was just control what I can control and, wipe the sweat off my head and just do the best I could to try not to feel sweat, but I couldn't do nothing about it. I just had to thug it out. And I think that right there was just like a real deep thought I had about life, where, there's some things you just can't control at all, like even getting to the hotel that day. When we got to the hotel, we had a little issue checking in. The first room they checked us in, it smelled terrible. It smelled like mildew, and it didn't have a view. Like, it was literally, when you opened the window, you just saw the hallway, and I was like, nah, I can't do this. So, that was something I could control. I can go back. I made, a change for my room, and they ended up giving us a way better room with a way better view that smelled a lot better. That was something I could control. But the sweating, every single moment I walked outside, anytime I was by the river, the lake, you couldn't control it. You just had to deal with it and thug it out. So that was one thing I learned. There's some things in life that you can prepare as much as you want to. Even my mentality was, before I go out there, let me work out some more to try to get my body sweating more naturally, so I can just, not have that much sweat build up. That's my mindset sometimes. Like, I'm a sponge and I just have all this water in me, and when I start to sweat, it just, dries me out. So I try to do that as well before I left. Try to work out a little more, just get a little sweat going, to try to keep my body sweating. But it didn't matter. I don't think there's anything I could have done to go out there to prepare for that humidity, without literally living in it and just getting adjusted to it. And I can tell you, I did get adjusted to it toward the last few days. I felt like I wasn't as sweaty as normal. Yes, I was still bad, but it wasn't as bad as the first 2 days when I first got out there. So that's one thing I wanted to say. And the second thing I wanted to bring up was, everybody has an opinion, and you have to find what works best for you. So going out there, I had so many food suggestions on what to eat, where to go, what to try. Everybody had their different opinions on everything. And of course, I wanted to try my best to try everybody's suggestion, but I only had a limited amount of time. I only literally had 5 days, with 3 of those 5 days being mainly conference for 8 hours. So it's like I only had a certain amount of time to be able to explore and to be able to see everything and to be able to try to eat as many foods as possible. And I did the best I could, but at the same time, there's no way I could hit all the spots up. I only had a limited amount of time, a limited amount of resources. It wasn't like the UNLV gave me an unlimited dining card so I can go eat anywhere, and they're like, we'll just cover the bill. Like, no, there's so much stuff out there. And it was like, I needed to, find the best opportunities, because there was some stuff out there that was just unreasonably priced. Like, there's this place out there called Willie's. It was all over Canal Street and Bourbon Street, which is like some of the main tourist attractions, and they were charging literally like $15 for 2 pieces of chicken and some fries. And I was like, hell no, I'm not paying that. That's crazy. You guys are hustling right now. So I didn't care who said Willie's chicken was good. I was not paying that price, because I felt it was unfair and I felt it was wrong, and I'm not about to pay that. And then on top of that, they had the chicken just sitting up there when you walk in, so I knew it wasn't no fresh, just cooked chicken. So I'm not doing that, But there was a time where we was walking and we saw some lady eating some chicken from somewhere else, and we didn't technically ask her, but she overheard the conversation, and she was like, oh, I got this chicken from here, it was so good, the best chicken I've had in my life, whoopty whoopty whoopty. And we was like, okay, she hyped that up pretty good. So we ended up finding that chicken spot. The chicken probably had some fair prices. There were people in line. Everybody in there was hyping it up, saying it was so delicious, telling them to cook it this way and all that stuff. So we was like, okay, let's try this spot out. So we tried the spot out. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but it wasn't knock you off your feet, this is the best chicken I ever had, like, I'm gonna suggest this chicken to everybody in the world type of good. Like, it was all right. The last place we went to, though, that was some bomb chicken. Somebody said, one of my frat brothers I ran into at the conference suggested it. He was like, every time he comes out here, he tries it. He looked like somebody I can trust his opinion. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go try this chicken right here. We looked at the reviews are good, and that chicken right there was fire. Like, that was some fire chicken wings we had, but it was just like funny, because we ran into multiple suggestions. Like, even my dad, like, they're not even out there right now, but they were sending me suggestions on places to go eat and stuff like that. And we went to one of the places, which was delicious, but we couldn't make it to all the places, and they kind of seemed shocked that we didn't go here to go eat. And I'm like, I only had so much time, there's only so much I can do. Thank you for the suggestions, but I can't take them all. And now I'm to the point, while we were out there, was like, even if somebody did suggest something, I'm not sure if I can trust your opinion because, you know, we got steered wrong already. And last thing I want to do is get steered wrong again with somebody hyping something up saying it's so good. And that happened with the beignets out there. So beignets, you're taking like some type of fried donut that, you know, is supposed to be famous in New Orleans. It was had real good ones. I tried 3 different beignet places. There was one that was okay, you know, but I didn't think it was knocking me off my feet. I need to come here every single morning, get me a beignet and a coffee from this place type of good. And then there was this other place where, you know, I'm sure it had to be good because the line was always around the corner. You know, like we went there and the line was so long, we were like, we're not about to try it because we're gonna be here all day waiting in line just for a beignet, when I already had 3 other of them. And I'm like, okay, the other ones were okay, so what makes this place gonna stand out so much better that makes it, you know, this line worthy, you know? Is it just the hype? Because right now I feel like a lot of stuff is just hype right now, and a lot of people, because they haven't tried something, because they haven't experienced something, you know, they can only say it's delicious based off of their life experiences, you know? But based off what I had the last few times, yeah, I'm not really that excited right now because, you know, I already been let down a few times. You know, trusting other people's experiences and all their advice, it was like, you know, thank you for it, but at the same time, I need to figure out some stuff myself, you know. But at the same time, we did have some good advice out there. Like a lot of the restaurants we went to, I've never had guests or not guests, but servers so honest with what's good and what's not good on their menu. And I felt like we did get some really good people to give us some good advice on what to eat and what not to eat. Like the first restaurant we went to, we wanted a po' boy, but the lady was like, yeah, don't get the po' boy. That catfish is going to be dry. And I was like, that right there is a super honest opinion. We're in your establishment, you know, like there's no benefit for us. There's no benefit for you to say, you know, don't get nothing. Like you should say everything's good because it's your restaurant. But she had the nerve to say, no, don't get that. It's not good. You should try this. This right here is really good. And I promise you that meal she suggested was the best meal we had out there. And it was the very first meal we had. And I was like, okay, I'm glad we trusted her opinion, but that led us to listen to other people's opinion. And now we were let down. So now we had to pause for a second and be like, okay, let's get back to trusting our opinion and see what works best for us, because everybody has a mindset. Everybody has their own different type of taste. Some of these people could be coming from somewhere where they don't have no type of fried chicken. All they got is KFC. So anytime they get some good fried chicken or a different fried chicken, they think it's good because it's not KFC, you know? So it's like, I need to start pausing and realizing where this opinion coming from, the experience this person has to give me this advice that they're giving me, you know? But, besides that though, you know, it was an amazing trip. I felt I learned a lot. The last thing I did want to share about that trip was just don't trust a book by its cover, because you know, me, like I said, being a Vegas local my whole life and hearing about New Orleans, yes, I understand the flood hit and all that stuff, but I did expect to go out there to see more art, more music, more culture, but it wasn't like that. Like, yes, Bourbon Street was cool, but I felt like people paint Bourbon Street to be a lot more prettier, a lot cleaner, a lot more fun than it actually was, because literally it was just a whole bunch of bars lined up and down the street, and there were a lot of homeless people out there, and it was a little dirtier than I expected. And you know, there were a lot of people out there just hustling all types of things. Like, I didn't expect it to be, to me personally, you know, if you're from Vegas, you'll understand this, but it felt like a Fremont of the South. Like, it really just felt like Fremont Street, but in a, you know, not as pretty, not as bright city, you know. Like, there's multiple times we was walking around, I'm like, we on Fremont, we on Bourbon Street, why is it so dark over here, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it was just kind of like, I went out there and expecting to see this, and then I saw that, and it was kind of like a little bit of a turn off. But at the same time, I'm glad I did go out there to get to experience it for myself, because I saw other people out there, I'm sure they had a ball, you know what I'm saying? They was out there showing titties to get beads, shit. People was out there doing phone parties. People was lined up like New York for all the street performers and stuff. You know, the bands were really, really dope though. I did enjoy that part. Like, that part was lovely. And one thing it really brought to my mind was that we all have a talent. We have to just learn how to pull it out, and we can't be afraid to use it no matter where we are, because it's like these people up here probably playing for hours at a time, and who knows how much they're really getting paid, if they're getting paid at all. But it's like a lot of them though, they were up there. You can tell they didn't care they probably weren't getting paid. They were just really just vibing up there, freestyling, mixing up music, and just making their own theme, their own vibe, and all that stuff. And I thought that right there was so beautiful, and it really just made me sit back and think like, this could be a whole family right here, and everybody just knows that they have some type of musical talent, and they just had to figure out what it was, and now they can use their talent as a side hustle, because I'm pretty sure this is not their only job, but that was something that really got me out there. I'm like, everybody has a talent, but they're not afraid to use it out here. A lot of other places we're afraid to use it because it's so hard to just showcase it the way they had it, because I'm sure with all the bands out there, it was probably a lot of options for these people, definitely being that everybody has some type of band, saxophone, trumpet, some type of musical talent, But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I know I was doing a little rambling just now. I was just kind of sharing my thoughts from the trip. I felt it was a really good trip. I just know that some of the suggestions that I got kind of threw us off a little bit, definitely when we were kind of just dissatisfied with some of the food that we had, definitely based off of somebody else overhyping it. But at the same time, we did get some great advice and got some great meals out there based off other people's advice. So it's like, just trust the advice you're getting, know where you're going, do the best you can to prepare, but that some stuff you're gonna have to thug it out. You can't always prepare for everything. You can do the best that you can, but other stuff you can't control. But if you can't control it, you can probably adjust to it, and that's one thing I did with the sweating. I couldn't control it, but I could adjust to it, and I could do the best I could to handle it. And then last but not least, don't judge a book by its cover. Yes, it was always painted to be this magical music jazz festival type of land where you're going to see all this type of stuff, but real talk, it was just a different type of version of Fremont. It wasn't as pretty as I thought it was, and I think that the books that I was seeing and all the stuff that I always hear, it kind of got painted over. It wasn't as clean as I thought it was, but at the same time, like I said, it's still a great experience. Would I go back? I might go back for some charred oysters because those are so good, but besides that, it'll have to be something big like Mardi Gras so I can truly get the true experience of New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that resonated with you guys today. I hope to help somebody out. If you guys do have a trip planned to New Orleans and want some advice on where to go eat, reach out to your boy and I'll let you know. I'll let you know what I had. You can try all that stuff out. I promise you I'm only going to let you know about the best stuff. But with all that being said, we hope you guys have a great day, a marvelous afternoon, a splendid evening, and remember to just keep swimming.